Hi, Matt Noyes with the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network. We're looking at pattern predictions. We're going to do this every Monday where we look out for the next 2 weeks and say, all right, we gave you a monthly forecast at the start of the month. Does that remain on track? How are things looking? Look, first of all, so many of you have been asking when we're going to get out of this flow with wind that comes in off the ocean, right? This was a hallmark of our May monthly forecast. Multiple backdoor cold fronts with an easterly or northeasterly wind. That does not break this week. It looks like later this week, high temperatures only in the 40s. These numbers are for Boston. So the warmth that we've had today is going to go away, not tomorrow, but shortly thereafter. Now, next week, it's interesting. You do get back into the mid 60s the way things are looking, but the normal high for next week is 67. So you're still not quite making it there. You might remember our May monthly forecast we had given you at the start of the month called for a number of backdoor cold fronts because of storminess that would be kind of parked out by Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and allow for an easterly and northeasterly wind, keeping us near normal, maybe not even there, but we do think warmth makes a comeback at the end of the month. So that's why we continue with a forecast of near normal temperatures. This is the plot of the jet stream winds aloft. Now, when you look at this, I'm including the entire Northern Hemisphere. So there's the North Pole, and the colors represent the winds. Now, to some extent, it's hard to tell what day you're looking at here. This happens to be for the midweek, but I can tell you that for this particular pattern prediction, you don't necessarily need to know exactly what day you're looking at because here we are in the northeastern United States. The jet stream to our south. Storminess is parked out by Nova Scotia, allowing for multiple backdoor cold fronts. We still keep what we call a jet stream trough in place here as we get toward the middle and end of this week. We'll get rain that comes with this disturbance that comes in, but the bottom line, if you don't see that dip, if you don't see that trough in the jet stream start to relax a little bit, you're not going to get substantial warming. And if anything, it only digs more as we head into the upcoming weekend. Notice coming out of Alaska, coming across the Pacific, we do have some pretty good northern jet stream energy, but the northern stream and the southern stream are separate for the most part as they come into the Pacific. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It keeps the Pacific moisture pretty much separate from the energy in the northern stream. They do start to join together, though, as they get to the eastern seaboard, and part of the reason that's difficult for us is because it continues to fuel storminess from Nova Scotia to Newfoundland, even as we get into next week for that matter as well. What does happen in the jet stream pattern next week is that trough, that dip in the jet stream begins to relax a little bit. And as it relaxes, that will allow at least some milder air to come in. That's why at least 60s are in the forecast for all of next week. But I can tell you, in a pattern like this, you'd still get multiple northern stream disturbances, which means you'd likely get at least multiple chances for scattered showers, or perhaps as the warmth comes in next week, even some thunderstorms for that matter as well. You can see the cooler than normal pattern forecast over the course of the next 2 weeks across much of the eastern U.S., but certainly here in the Northeast as well. And in terms of precipitation, wetter than normal for a lot of the eastern U.S., including here at home. You got rain events that Danielle was telling you about in our 1 Degree Outside Insights earlier today coming up at midweek and again at the end of the week. And then I mentioned what we may get as we head into next week with a couple of disturbances coming by. So bottom line on the pattern, don't be counting on any big change to come through here anytime in the immediate future. Again, going back to that initial graph that we looked at, everything you see with red here is AI corrected high temperatures. The AI is correcting, the artificial intelligence correcting those temperatures down as we get to Friday and Saturday to hold us in the 40s. At least there's rebound next week, but again, probably not coming out of a cooler than normal pattern. That's a look at your 1 Degree Outside pattern predictions. We always appreciate you checking in with us at 1degreeoutside.com.